Hey everybody, welcome to the Sky Lounge. This is Cruise Peruse, episode number 67. Heading over to the west side of town, as always, boys and girls. So real quick, I actually have a real quick side note. I actually have a podcast called the Sky Lounge Podcast. Original, I know. But usually airs every Tuesday. The last 2 weeks, unfortunately, I haven't posted anything. And the kind of realization is coming to me that I might just make a daily podcast, make this whole interaction, a Cruise Peruse thing, the podcast instead, so I can actually invest more time into just, talking about what I need to talk about in a condensed space of time here, because generally our drive is about 20-25 minutes or so every morning. And so I want to, if that's going to be the case of just making this a daily podcast thing, I want to do further research the evening prior to, so that way I give you guys more detailed shit, relatively speaking. So that might be a thing most likely happening, but just want to get that out of the way, boys and girls. Just want to get that out of the way because there's a lot of sports ball to talk about. And right now, soccer more than anything has taken over summer months. With the near closing of the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup Final, which is actually today, Game 7, boys and girls. Be ready for that shit. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later. Summer months are generally, soccer tournaments. And this year, we got a huge treat. Women's World Cup, the Under-20 World Cups, the Under-20 World Cup, and the Copa America, which is going to start, I believe, this weekend. So all these tournaments going on, and of course, as a Korean who lives in America, USA, I cheer for two squads, mostly, which is the United States and South Korea. And in the women's field right now, South Korea is getting their, metaphorical dick punched in the worst way possible. It's hilarious because you lose 4-0 against France in the opening match, which I totally understand because France it's their home turf, and they're probably going to dominate all throughout now. Lots of solid players, coming out of those clubs, domestic clubs in France. And you get beat by Nigeria today, 2-0. You start wondering, will we have any sort of footing or grasp on what we can do here? Probably not with South Korea in the Women's World Cup this year. And I genuinely hope they were going to do okay. They're probably going to get fucked, and I'm seeing it live at times. And as on the other side, the USA, boys and girls, the United States of America produced a dangerous weapon called the women's national team, and holy shit. Yeah, the women's national squad is, shall we say, dominant. They won their opening match against Thailand 13-0. Okay, I just want to reiterate this point this morning here. 13-0 scorelines don't really happen in soccer, okay? That's a fucking football scoreline where 2 field goals, 1 touchdown. This shit was just utter domination, absolute domination. And Alex Morgan to get 5 goals, 3 assists. The way she handles the ball, just dribbling up the pitch, she's incredible. Rapinoe, Lloyd, all these cats in that U.S. squad just showed you how dominant they were. And the message yesterday to me was, fuck y'all. Like, we're defending champions. We're not going to take this shit lightly. We're on it. And I love that mentality. I love that attitude. There's all these pussies out there saying, it's classless that the U.S. women's national team let in 13 goals. That's so disrespectful. How about you stop the 13 fucking goals then? Simple fucking question. How about you stop the fucking 13 goals then? And I mean, the bigger question is Thailand. Like, how the fuck did you even get in? I'm not trying to be a cunt, but it's like, dude, I know you're going against the #1 ranked team in the world. But my God, there has to be some sort of test to allow a team into the World Cup, eh? We'll see. We'll see how Thailand does in the upcoming, week or two. But that 13-0 victory was a statement, and it was glorious. And they beat all kinds of records, man. Alex Morgan, one of the few players who's recorded 5 goals in the World Cup. I think second player ever. And this was the largest margin of victory in World Cup history, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. 13-0, largest margin of victory. And I'm telling you, in the Women's World Cup, USA looking to repeat. And after that performance last night, or yesterday afternoon, whatever, I'm beginning to suspect it might happen. Call that American dominance, call that American arrogance, whatever you want to fucking call it. But USA showed out last night. It's beautiful. And in another tournament right now, under 20s World Cup, boys and girls, you might have seen the clip that I posted up. I posted an Instagram video, live reaction of the under 20s World Cup, South Korean men's team making it into the finals. And this, I want to just put this into context real quick. South Korea has only reached the semifinals once before 2019. That was 1983. They lost and got 4th place in the tournament. And ever since then, it's just been heartbreak after heartbreak in almost every major global tournament for South Korea. This is the first time we're ever in a final. And it's an actual World Cup final. Now, granted, because the under 20 World Cups is every 2 years, there isn't, as much excitement or, oomph about it as the actual World Cup, as there shouldn't be. It's a completely different, product. But, as a Korean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so excited. I'm so happy because, before my dad passed away, we always would talk about how South Korea would one of these days, be a really solid squad internationally. And for the longest time, they weren't. They were just kind of mediocre, subpar, not doing the, best of the best they can do. Well, yesterday, man, against Ecuador, South Korea was able to pull off a 1-0 win to head to their first ever under 20 World Cup final against Ukraine, who's also going to the first World Cup final, under 20s World Cup final. And I'm telling you, this is like a whole other level of excitement relative to club, like Arsenal and other stuff like that. Just my fellow countrymen are representing our country in the best way possible, in the highest form of highest echelon of sports. And these are the young kids too. The young kids are doing this shit, and it's incredible to just watch this happen in my lifetime. Like, I honestly never would have thought Korea would, go to any internationally recognized tournament and actually kick ass, like as they're doing right now. Like, they went through this entire tournament from the round of 32, I believe, all the way to the semifinals. I thought, wow, this team has grit. This team just keeps coming back. This team has fight. And I'm hoping this pays out, man. I'm so fucking excited. And the final is going to be on Saturday, boys and girls, believe it or not. So I'm going to be previewing that for the Saturday Cruise Peruse. And we're going to be talking about just why this means so much to me. Because, like I said, my dad, who passed away last year, we would always talk about how, man, South Korea, we're just so close. We got a couple of these young kids, a couple of really good talents, but we just got to link everything together. And for the longest time, it just never happened. And it's something of a point of pride for South Koreans, where our appearance in the 2002 World Cup as 4th place, contestants, that was major for South Korea. Like, that was just unbelievable. Like, the history of Asian football. Just, it's never been done before. And for that, it's an immense point of pride. So that kind of garnered all this World Cup fever, soccer fever, if you will. And from that, a lot of young kids were born into just, into football academies or better or more developed football cultures, in the sense of back in the day, Korea didn't really globalize the sport. They didn't really send their kids overseas. And now it's a completely different, aspect where kids born after those World Cup, that World Cup win, or born during that World Cup, not win, but World Cup success for us at least. Lots of kids were born into be instilled with that soccer discipline, that football discipline, and now all the young cats are playing overseas, and some of these cats are playing in Spain, Portugal, Germany, all this stuff. So it's really cool to just watch this evolution kind of unfold before my eyes, because my dad and I would always talk about how, yeah, we're just so close, but all these young kids are starting now, and to see it finally develop into something palpable, like the reality of going to a final is, dude, the worst comes to worst, we're still second place. For South Korea, that's immense. Like, I've never been in that position in soccer with Korea before. So it's exciting. It's so exciting, and I'm telling you, like, I'm watching that game yesterday, and I'm thinking, like, man, I'm pretty sure Dad's like right there fucking watching this shit right now, because this is just bonkers, man. And I'm hoping the boys win it on Saturday. Really hoping the South Korean boys pull it off. And yeah, dude, it was so fucking awesome yesterday to watch that shit. And you know what? I'm not gonna be that fucking guy that says, "Oh, I'm the hipster. I've been cheering Korea throughout this entire tournament." Like, dude, yeah, sure, but like, I don't care, man. Like, if you're South Korean and you want to fucking cheer on these boys, just casually or just bandwagon on, I don't give a fuck. If you're South Korean, cheer on our boys. Like, the stupidest shit I heard from an acquaintance yesterday was, "Oh, it was one guy who won it. This is soccer's just a one-man sport." Like, no, it's not. It's a team effort. All 11 of those guys fought valiantly yesterday, and it's, you're gonna draw in ignorant fans like that. But you know what? At this point, I don't care. At this point, I just want the boys to get to the final, play their damn hardest, and hopefully come out with a win. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna be freaking out on Saturday, screaming my head off, because that is an important fucking match to me. And yeah, I listen, I've been fanboying about South Korea all the drive right now, and for a valid reason, boys and girls. Again, I've never really seen this squad succeed. It's kind of incredible that they're getting to some level of competitiveness. So I'm freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, is this real? Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the sky and see. I'm just a po' boy with shrimp on the top. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna annoy everybody. But South Korea has got me excited. And you know what else got me excited right now? Game 7. Stanley Cup Final. Tonight, the St. Louis Blues versus the Boston Bruins in Boston. Pivotal Game 7. We haven't had a Game 7 since 2011, boys and girls. That actually rhymes. But it's going to be a crazy game. Now, I've already kind of bitched about the St. Louis Blues and how their home record is abysmal, to say the least. But their road record is extremely impressive. So there might be an interesting dynamic happening tonight, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, man, I'm telling you, man, something about the Blues. I feel like they're going to get it. And I know I've said that throughout these last few games, but Blues fans, I want y'all to win. I'm not trying to curse you. I'm not that asshole. I want you guys to win. I want you guys to succeed. But it is tough. It is going to be tough. You got a Boston Bruins team just ready to dick punch people, at whatever, venue they wish. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Got all these, factors into play, but the reality is it's Game 7. It's do or die. It's anybody's fucking game. Anybody can take it. Anybody can win it. Anybody can lose it, too. Doesn't matter if you're the home team. It doesn't matter if you're the away team. It only matters how bad you want it. How bad do you want that shit? I'll tell you what, boys and girls. St. Louis, I think it's your time. I believe it is finally your time to rise up and take the damn Stanley Cup. Lord Stanley, bring on the brandy. Or I don't know the chant. I just know it's brandy and it's Lord Stanley. And we got the puppies in the back frickling out as we are near to our house, boys and girls. I know I said 20 to 25 minutes. Sometimes the drive is short depending on traffic. So there you have it, just working about getting things going, boys and girls. But it's a Wednesday. We're getting shit done. And it's going to be a fun time all throughout this week and weekend. So we will be live here, boys and girls. I don't know why I'm talking like that. I don't know why I'm talking like William Shatner in The Hood. That's a really bad analogy too, but fuck you. It's early. It's really early in the morning, guys. I'm not an analogy expert in the morning. But hey, if you want to catch me on some more bullshit, follow me at the SkyLounge, and all links in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe for more daily contents. Now fuck off.